Hello and welcome back to the channel that'll make you wonder if you should ever do something nice for anyone ever again in your life because they might turn around and do something very evil to you. I appreciate you taking the time to check out this video. I just wanted to remind everyone that I have joined the Chilling family, in case you haven't heard, and I want to make sure you've taken the advantage of the free trial if you haven't yet. Chilling is the new home of horror and an amazing mobile app that allows you to do things that are just not possible on YouTube. With hundreds of amazing stories that are sorted into curated playlists, or you can create your own, we give you so much flexibility to listen any way you want. This includes a Chilling exclusive feature, our ambient menu. You can change any of the background noise for all of the stories to fit your mood. And of course, the stories are all completely and totally ad-free. Hours of uninterrupted, horrifying, creepy, and all-around spooky content. And we're just getting started. Not only are we adding hours of new content every week, but we're soon going to expand into classic novels and audio series. Original video content is also in the works. We are really trying to build something special here. I hope you can join us. Make sure to download now by looking up Chilling, or you can click the link in the description to start your free trial today. Once again, the app is called Chilling. Much love to you all, and without any further ado, let's begin. And as always, this video may be disturbing to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. Robert Serqua was with his identical twin brother Christopher in their family home in Hythe, Hampshire. It was New Year's Eve 2013, and their parents Pete and Denise were upstairs. Apart from just growing up together, they also had worked together in the building trade. They were on friendly terms, but their relationship sometimes turned violent when they drank. Robert had a criminal past. He had served time for domestic violence as well as criminal damage. Up till about 7 p.m. on New Year's Eve, he was in a good mood, messaging his girlfriend Joelle Mansfield about how he was excited to marry her. But then an argument broke out with Christopher, and he sent her a message suggesting it had something to do with their past and that they had to get things sorted out. An hour later, he was already telling her about a fight breaking out, adding that he had no choice in the matter. They wound up fighting, and Robert stabbed Christopher with a kitchen knife. He then fled the house shoeless to join his girlfriend at a New Year's Eve party and switched his phone off so that nobody could contact him. While the fight had been escalating, his mother Denise called 999.
Yes, can you send a police car to Langdown Road?
Okay. What's happening now?
Langdown Road is fine.
What's happening now?
My husband is involved. Please hurry.
Who's involved?
My two sons and my husband.
Okay. Is it inside the house?
Yeah.
And how old are your sons?
31.
Okay, what are their names?
Robert and Christopher.
And surname?
Chirkler.
Sorry?
Chirkler.
Okay. Alright, run away. What's your name?
Denise.
Denise, same surname?
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any husbands involved?
No, I don't know. I'm in the hall.
You're in the...
I'm in the hall.
Okay, try and calm down. We're on our way, okay. What's happened? What started? Why's it started?
Did you get an ambulance to help me?
Yeah, what's that for? What's the ambulance for?
If he's hurt himself.
Yeah. I need to know what's
What's
happened.
he done, Pete? He's stabbed!
He's what?
He's been stabbed!
Who's
Please
stabbed?
hurry up!
Who's been stabbed?
Who's been stabbed? Who's been stabbed? Who's been stabbed?
Okay. And how old is he?
He's 31!
Okay, where has he been stabbed?
I don't know, in the hall. He's in the kitchen with my husband.
And who's done it? Who
I
stabbed
don't
him?
know. I wasn't there.
Okay. And where is it? I need to know.
In the kitchen.
No, I need to know where he's been stabbed. On
crying, he's crying. He started
Call
doing...
me an ambulance on 844, please, stab.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Okay. Is it your husband that's done it, or your other son?
No, my husband's done it. Stop it.
Your husband's trying to do it. Where is your other son, and have you
I
still
don't
got a
know where
knife
he's
on him?
gone.
Okay, so the one that's gone off is called?
Robert.
Right, how do you spell your last name?
Cerqua.
And where does he live?
Here.
And you don't know whether he's still got a weapon?
He hasn't got a weapon. I haven't seen him with a weapon.
Has he left the house?
Yeah, but I don't know why.
And what, is Christopher conscious and breathing at the moment?
Is he breathing, Kate? Is he breathing? Yes. He's on his side. He's breathing.
So he is conscious, he is breathing.
The police tracked Robert down to a nearby party at 2:20 a.m. and arrested him. He fell asleep in the car on the way to the police station, and after waking up, he asked the officers if his brother really was dead. In interviews that followed, Robert claimed that his brother was the first to hold the knife, and that his life was under threat. The police had recovered the kitchen knife from the sink in the kitchen. It was bent and had blood on it, but since Robert and Christopher were twins, their DNAs were similar, which was a setback for authorities. Despite his claims of self-defense, Robert was still convicted of murder for killing his brother. Robert must serve a minimum of 13 years in prison. 23-year-old Mcculloch Rowlands and 21-year-old Lauren Griffins were engaged to be married in 2019, 4 years after they had first met. They had a tough relationship, full of ups and downs. In 2018, they were both dealing with issues. Lauren with mental health issues such as dissociative disorder, worsened by a past of dealing with abuse, including from an ex-boyfriend. As for Mcculloch, who was raised as a pagan, his troubles were financial. Due to the problems they were each facing in their lives, a year before they were engaged, Mcculloch suggested they enter a suicide pact together. However, Lauren backed out of the agreement after her life started to turn around and she started to become happier. To her dismay, Mcculloch was persistent. Lauren even had to seek protection from her friends from Mcculloch during this period. In March 2019, Mcculloch strangled Lauren in front of her friend out of anger that she had backed out of their suicide pact. Thankfully, her friend called the police. Throughout their relationship, Lauren would go on to share the same pagan beliefs as Mcculloch. They would also use drugs such as LSD and MDMA recreationally, and their friends thought of them as inseparable since Mcculloch was possessive and controlling when it came to Lauren. What's worse is Mcculloch was never able to let go of Lauren backing out of the suicide pact. In April 2019, he finally exacted his revenge, shortly before they were to be married. He strangled her again, this time to death, then wrapped her body in cling film. What he did after was surprising. Right next to his fiance's corpse, Mcculloch ordered pizza and tried to set up a Netflix account. It wasn't until 35 hours later that he finally dialed 999.
So you're the patient?
Yeah.
All right. Tell me exactly what's happened.
I've killed my fiance by mistake.
Pardon?
Right,
are you the patient, sir?
Yes.
Okay, so you said you're the patient?
Yes.
Right, okay. Right, tell me exactly what's happened to your fiancée.
She's dead.
Right, how is she dead?
Because I've killed her.
Right. Right, how have you killed her, sir?
I strangled her.
We're going to need to take some statements off you guys anyway. Step up then, yeah, if you don't mind, thank you. Obviously, what's happened has happened. The ambulance staff have told us what's happened. Okay, everything I'm saying now is being recorded. Alright, but at the moment, I am arresting you, okay, on suspicion of murder. You do not have to say anything that may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which later on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. Okay? Alright? So you're under caution now. That means everything that you say and do from this point onwards, I will record and I will write down. Alright? Okay. We're going to be taking you down to the police station now. I advise you at the moment not to talk to me or anything, unless it's anything to do with your welfare at the moment. Have you been arrested before by the police? You have. Okay, and what was that for?
For attacking Lauren.
Right. Okay. And what happened that time?
It was strangling again.
Right.
The authorities arrested Madog. While they were at his house, they found a note on the wall that read, "Now that I have killed her, this will be my plan. To keep her sexy from the outside, I'll wrap her in plastic." Madog had written another note on paper stating that he also tried to kill himself after murdering Lauren. The evidence against him continued to mount. On his computer, there were searches on how to achieve the best results in court and how to show remorse. Regardless of all this, he maintained that he killed Lauren in self-defense. He even said that he lost consciousness while strangling her and mistakenly killed her. However, experts during the trial stated that that is not possible. The jury found him guilty of murder and the judge sentenced him to life in prison. On July 1st, 2020, Damian Barry hosted Lindsay Harkin, also known as Joey, and Rachel Walsh at his home on Lower Holland Bank Street in Blackburn. Joey had left Northern Ireland to start a new life in England in 2016. But after failing to get a job, he lost his home and started taking drugs. He also had a criminal history. At just 19, he was sent to prison for grievous bodily harm. His later convictions include robbery and battery. On that day, Damian, being generous, gave Joey clothes and food. However, after taking drugs and drinking alcohol, Joey robbed Damian, taking £55 and his bank card. He then stabbed Damian several times with a kitchen knife. He also slashed Damian's throat. Damian, still losing blood and covered in it, went out to look for help. He fell on the pavement before a neighbor found him and called 999.
Put that around your neck and hold it there. Don't move. I'm going to die. Sit down. Sit down.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. My mate's just been stabbed. Someone the clip. I'm bleeding out. He's bleeding out. I need an ambulance straight away.
Right.
And police.
Listen, just calm down. I need to know where you are.
Holland Bank Street. Blackburn. I'm holding this guy's neck to stop him from bleeding to death.
Right, just hold the line while I get help on the way.
Thank you very much.
Just
I'm going to die. You're not going to die. I'm leaving loads of holes. What harmed? You stabbed me in my neck and everything. Christ. I'm going to die. You're not going to die. I'm going to make sure you don't die.
Listen, I'm getting the ambulance and the police on the way, okay?
Thank you. Thank you. Don't worry about the blood.
Stay on
Just
the phone.
Stay there. Right, nice one. It's coming out. Don't worry about it. Just keep it there. Please. I'm going to save you, mate. Easy. I'm going to die. You're not going to die. Hurry up, love. Please.
It's alright, listen, me being on the phone. Listen, it's not.
It's got blood everywhere. It's just had his throat slit.
Yeah, just listen to me. Right?
Please.
The police and the ambulance are already en route. We're not delaying anything, but
Please.
I need to know.
Thank you very much.
Listen, I need to know.
Please.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Stop bleeding. Calm down. I'm going to die. You're not going to die. Calm down. I'm going to pass out.
Who stabbed him?
Just stabbed him and slit his throat. He's standing outside my gate while I was lying down now. And they stabbed him in his back. I've got blood all over there, all over the street outside.
Do you know Tom?
Tell him be quick, I'm going to... He's starting to pass out.
Thankfully, Damian survived the horrific attack. But after returning home from the hospital, he started living in constant fear that he would be stabbed again. Hence, he moved away from Blackburn. Still, he suffers from PTSD and no longer trusts people easily. During his trial, Joey's defense spoke about his background, starting with his father being jailed when he was young to his own criminal record, and stated that Joey wanted to break the cycle of violence and crime that was ruling his life. Joey was sentenced to 9 years in prison. Henry Long, Albert Bowers, and Jesse Cole were traveling 18-year-olds who got by in life by robbing people. Between them, they had expansive criminal records including robbery, battery, and sexual assault. Albert was known for his passion for blood sport and was a racist. Henry Long started thieving when he was only 12 years old, and Jesse was a tree cutter but often went thieving with Albert and Henry. On August 15, 2020, while in the village of Bradfield South End, they came across a quad bike parked at a house belonging to Peter Wallace. They agreed to return to steal it later, which they did at 11 at night. They wore face masks and gloves that night. But as they were stealing the quad bike, Peter saw them and dialed 999.
Thames Valley Police, what's your emergency?
I've got 4 masked men outside my house and they've got weapons. They came round earlier and now they're in my they're at my property in Stamford
And
Dingley.
what weapons have they got?
Handheld things, they're all masked.
And what's your name?
Peter Wallace.
And your postcode?
RG7 6JP.
And what number are you?
I'm at Privet House. It's not a number, it's
Privet House.
Privet House,
Yeah. And what weapons did you say?
I saw them handheld things a moment ago. I don't know whether they're coming to break in this house. I don't know whether they're coming, but they're... Yeah, can you please send someone...
Are they trying to get into your property?
They are gone in to break into something. They're trying to get into my garage or something.
Is that them I can hear in the background?
No, that's me shuffling about trying to see them.
And when did you see them before?
Well, I saw them before at 5 o'clock, but that's they come back in a different car, I presume.
And what do you think the weapons were?
Oh, just a handheld piece of wood or something. But I think they're just breaking into my garage to nick my stuff, eh? And they're quite threatening outside. I presume they know I'm in here.
Can you get the registration number?
I've got GK53, I thought, but they came in another...
And when you said masks, are they...
Hey?
Masks, what do you mean? Are they faces covered?
They've got their faces covered, gloves on, hats on.
Are you at home alone?
Yeah. Oh, and they're stealing my quad bike. I'm going out there now.
No, don't go out there.
I'm going out there now.
No, because if they've got weapons...
Yeah, I don't care. I've got to protect that bike. They're taking the quad bike.
No, your safety is important. Stay in your property.
Please send someone. I'm going
Someone's
out
on their way. No, don't go out there.
Have you sent someone or not?
Officers are on their way, but you can't go out there.
I'm going.
If they've got a weapon, then you'll be hurt.
Well, there's all sorts of bits of wood out there. They could pick up anything, but they're not taking my damn bike.
You need to stay in your property.
That means they've already taken it.
Does it have a registration number? Peter, does your bike have a registration number?
No, they tried to take the bike. They can't take it. They're going, I think.
Can you see their vehicle?
I don't know what they're doing. They're going to fucking come in here and ram the fucking car.
Peter started to think he may have to take them on, the entire band of thieves. But he ended up watching them tow his quad bike away since the operator convinced him that there were respondents close by. The respondents were Andrew Harper and Andrew Shaw, who both heard of the burglary on the radio while they were merely some minutes away in an undercover police car. Just as they arrived, the robbers were trying to get away. When they realized the police had arrived, they decided to unhook the quad bike and make a run for it. One of the robbers was on the quad bike, then ran past the police undercover car to get back into the getaway vehicle. Andrew Harper immediately got out of the car to go after him. When Shaw turned to look at his partner chasing one of the thieves, he saw Harper fall backward and heard his head smack the ground. What had happened was Harper's legs got caught in the loading strap the robbers were towing the quad bike with. Harper was dragged along on the road for over a mile as the robbers escaped Shaw, who was giving chase far behind. Knowing full well they were dragging Harper along on the road, and with music blaring in the car, Henry, who was driving, started to turn the car left and right. Shaw had no idea what happened to Harper. He was far behind but came across Harper's bloody vest on the road. Shortly after, another officer observed a body that looked like a deer carcass in the road and radioed it in. By the time Harper was free from the robber's car, his body was unrecognizable. During the trial that followed, the robbers claimed they had no idea they were dragging Harper behind them. They admitted they wanted to steal the quad bike, but didn't intend to hurt Harper. And yet, during the trial, they laughed when Harper's horrifying end was described to the jury. Henry even said right after getting arrested that he did not care that Harper died. In fact, Henry was so proud of escaping the police in a car that in his alibi he claimed that he was watching Fast and Furious. Additionally, during the investigation, friends and families of the thieves tried to interfere with the police work. There were also reports that the jury was being targeted. It was a great disappointment to Harper's wife, family, and friends when none of the defendants were convicted of murder, with only 2 of them being found guilty of manslaughter, which holds a considerably smaller sentence. The only people who cheered were the families of the thieves. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to this video, and yeah, it's been a while since I featured some 999 calls, so I figured you guys would enjoy the change, get out of the USA for once. I hope everyone's having a great day, and I really do appreciate all your support, and I will catch you in the next video. And just remember, it's always scarier if it's true. Bad bye.